Hello and welcome to Stocks Advisor channel. Here at our channel we are looking for interesting buy opportunities for US-based stocks or for stocks that has gathered a lot of attention to understand what's going on with them. And today we will talk about Vaxart Incorporated, a ticker name VXRT, traded at NASDAQ. And this stock actually is the second case, so it's not really about the buying opportunities but more about to understand what's going on with the stock, what's its future, because we have been receiving a lot of queries about this stock to make analysis to understand what's going on with it, if in any case what would be interesting buy opportunities for it, and what's actually going on with VXRT, why is it growing like that. Before we start with our standard analysis and standard scale picture here that you see, we usually look at about half a year scale. Let's first have a look on VXRT on the bigger term, so almost like 1 year scale. So in this scale, of course, it's not really important to note the candles themselves, but just the price and the price change. This is important. So first, what you need to remember about Vaxart, it's about 1 billion market capacity stock, being at a price of about $9. But before all the COVID situation started to take off, actually it was from October on of previous year, its price was in the level of, well, it was just penny stock, you can say. It was like about 20 cents area, and before let's say September, it was in about 75 cents area. So in September there was huge drop, almost 3 times. It went to 20-25 cents area, and now it's 9. So imagine it's now 9, and it was actually 20 cents against $9. So now you understand what was the real market capacity here. Actually, you can say it was almost 5 times, more than 5 times lower if you look at the September case, let's say, or even lower. So it's let's say pre-COVID, all the pre-COVID story, market capitalization should be around 100 million or even lower. From this, you can understand that actually all this way that we had this growth of the company up to current state, or even up to the previous, the top maximum observed at about 17 around dollars. This is all mainly expectation and news expectation based, so news expectancy based. And the reason for that lies in what the Vaxart is doing. So this is a clinical stage company that is working on oral formulations for vaccines. And what is oral formulation? Oral formulation is when instead of actually taking a pill or taking a usual injection for vaccines, instead of taking injections, you just take an oral pill, or droplets or something. Mainly it's droplets, actually. It's a liquid oral formulation. And this is very interesting because it's very convenient to use, and for customers, for people, it's kind of easy to accept this kind of vaccination when you just take a couple of droplets of something instead of having an injection. Therefore, once Vartax engaged to COVID vaccine development, its price started to grow even before it officially announced actually this, which was somewhere in the March area, especially the COVID. You see these prices really went crazy up, like these jumps here, and then jumps further in about April and also in between in July, etc., etc. But overall, once the COVID story started to appear, the growth was seen because people were expecting this company to engage, as any other actually vaccine making company, to engage to COVID vaccine making or formulation development, at least, so making it as droplets, as oral droplets, and therefore expectation was very high. So once this works, it will be really high, and this mainly drove the price. So you need to understand it's almost like 50-70 million capacity company went to 1 billion, and that's important to understand because now we're coming back to original scale, which we usually use for our analysis, like half a year. So now you understand this all rise, almost 20 times or even more rise, more than 20 times rise, this is only due to the news expectation, and that explains these huge jumps like we saw many times, like here, for example, and this enormous volatility. Because imagine volatility goes like many folds, there are many times, like 5 times, 3 times, and it's all just based on expectations. And why is it important? Why keeping saying this again and again? Because this is purely from chart analysis news. It's mainly news driven. So meaning whatever could happen. If they say they develop something good for COVID, they just start developing, you see these huge spikes. If there is any information they goes for some agreements, there is a huge spike. If there is any information that it's failed, or there is another company coming with the COVID vaccine first, or whatever, or they are not in time to deliver their formulation, whatever issues comes with them, it will dramatically go down. So in general, you can say it's a purely casino here. It's FDA-driven therapeutic stock. So if there is a positive outcome in general, it will be enormously high, even higher. It's very hard to imagine what would be the top, but this is really, really questionable. Without news or with bad news, so with bad news, it will just go to its penny story where it was. Without news, it will just slowly decay with some volatilities. And that's what you exactly see after every big jump here. Whatever news comes, it goes high. Then due to volatilities, it goes down, then market puts it again. So whenever COVID history starts, it goes up, jumps, and then it actually corrects itself. And now the last correction we see was going almost half a month. It started from somewhere like 15 of July, and then it's going now. And today we see the combination of candles red and dark. So unclear if there is any news coming this weekend or beginning of Monday. It will of course try to make another wave up, because also speaking of RSI, it's possible. But if you speak of MACD, the Convergence Divergence Index, it's still too deep, so it needs some time to redevelop. So most probably it will be further correction ongoing, either until moving average 50, which is here the blue line, or it might even deepen further. In that sense, if you still try to implement here a kind of chart analysis, which is extremely difficult because it's just news driven and kind of, I don't want to say paranoia, but let's say hysteria and kind of really like enormously news driven and expectation driven, let's say, stock. Well, even if we try still to do some analysis, this would be super solid defense line. If price goes there, corrects to this level, you might take your chance to buy it. It will be kind of safe buy here, because also by that time moving average 200, which is this red line, will probably come up to these levels. So it will be like a double support. Also, another volatility might be expected here at the level of moving average 50, actually, with these support lines. And that's probably was the reason, for example, like it starts decelerate its decay, its last correction wave. So people probably expecting next week to have some upwards movement, because also moving averages 20, the green line, and 50 are showing positive behavior. Also their derivatives, second and first, are positive momentarily. But again, there is no fundamental behind it. It's purely like waves driven, expectations driven. And if you look, there are also for this company a lot of ongoing lawsuits from companies, from lower firms, which speak about the huge volatility of stocks and trying to catch on those as well. So it's purely COVID news driven, FDA decided company, and from our point of view, it's like a casino in that sense. You still might expect some weak reversal here, or even huge might happen. Just depends on news, as I said. Or if it goes to second line, let's say line 2, second line as S1, support 1. As support 2 would be quite reasonable support. Support 1, if there is some news coming, it might be another wave up. So purely news driven. If you want, you can try it, but we usually prefer avoiding these kind of stocks, because it's not based on any market, real chart behavior, solid things. It's mainly news, global pandemic expectations, etc., 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 etc. And of course, if any big pharma comes and says they have first vaccine formulation fixed, all other vaccine companies will, of course, lose their, let's say, stock price, because they actually lose the fight for the market. Keeping this in mind, you still try to play with Vaxart. For our followers, we advise to hold at least until support 2 line, or just avoid these kind of things, because as we often repeat in our videos, we think that trading is an art but not a casino, so we don't like casino style stocks. But many people ask us to analyze it, so now you know what to do and what to understand about Vaxart and why is it behaving like that. That was it for VXRT. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel.